Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all the many ways you support me, this channel, and the videos by, watching them and sharing them with others. It is appreciated. This week, I'd like to start by asking all of you who believe in manifesting your intentions, whether by meditation, by prayer, by some sort of spell or something, if you will consider prayers for the rainforest, and California, and that's not just the rainforest in the Amazon. The entire world is under threat. Indigenous people all over are under threat. The Amazon, several countries in Africa, all throughout Central Africa, Indonesia, and this is going on for months. Fires for the sake primarily of palm oil. Whatever else you've heard or been told, the primary goal is palm oil and other natural resources. They want to drill and they want these palm trees. And so that is, that's the goal. And so it's behind the deforestation, all of this stuff. And indigenous people are losing their lives. Some have been murdered because of all this that's going on. Now, of course, the fires in California, that's a different story. Although I'm sure that there's something behind that as well. Some powers that be have something going on. So we need to pray that the winds stop in all of these cases. Winds go, rain come to quell these fires. And also pray for continued strength and empowerment of the indigenous people so that they can maintain their land. Because there are a lot of people who claim to be good that are not, that are out there being, like missionaries, supposedly to save the day. And they're thieves also. And this is history repeating itself, since the very beginning. And certainly people of color and indigenous people know somebody arrives, they say they're there to help you. Next thing you know, your race is a victim of genocide and your land's been stolen. Okay, it wouldn't be the first time, so it's not so hard to believe. I don't know why people are acting like they don't know what's going on, but this is what's going on. And so again, those of you who believe in such prayer, intention, manifesting a desired reality, please do consider using some of that power that you have this week for that purpose. Like I said, it's been going on for months and I haven't really talked about it at all on this channel. So I can't really say for sure why I've been moved to talk about it today. Perhaps because of the earth energy that comes with the Taurus full moon 2 days from now, tomorrow. In some countries, that may be what's behind that. But again, I appreciate it. All right, so let's get into what we have to talk about this week, which is not very much. We're going to get to the cards very shortly and quickly this week. So on the Christian calendar, there is not one thing that I'm going to discuss. Next week, there will be two mentions. Saints Peter and Paul have a feast day next week that they share, and Mary has a feast day next week. So we'll talk about those. On the Hebrew calendar, there is nothing to discuss until the 29th. So the next 11/11 that comes upon us, the Hebrew month of Kislev starts for on that day. On the Islamic calendar, we celebrated the big feast day, basically holiday, yesterday and the day prior, Saturday, those of us who were going to celebrate, and that was the birthday celebration, recognition of the Prophet Muhammad. There is nothing this week with the exception of another celebration of the Prophet Muhammad for Shia around the world. Shia Muslims specifically will be celebrating his birthday on the 14th this year. But I've already talked about what it means to celebrate his birthday and how it came to be that we do, those who do. And so I won't talk about that again this week. On the planetary calendar, we have, again, tomorrow, the 11th, the transit between Mercury and the Sun trine Pluto that I discussed and explained in my most recent video prior to this one, which I called 1111 Messages, 1111 shifts, and portal and shifts messages, I think, for select signs. And there was certain signs that I think would be most directly impacted. One is bound to be more than likely your sun, moon, or rising sign, or that of your mate, perhaps. But there are only 6 out of the 12 signs. So it's a 50-50 chance, right? 6 out of the 12 signs that I felt were most directly connected. 2 other signs felt the need to introduce themselves to the conversation. So there were a total of 8 that get special mention and explanation in that video. And I spend time first doing a reading on for all of the signs, and then specifically about each one of those signs. Each one has their own card separately, and I talk about every aspect of how that energy, what the card represents, could affect a given person that is that sun, moon, or rising sign. So that's tomorrow, 11/11. And then on November 12th, Tuesday, at 8:34 a.m., the full moon in Taurus occurs, 19 degrees Taurus. And I explained what that was about, specifically the 19 and all of that. And so we're good to go right into the reading for this week. And of course, I'll do a separate moon reading specifically about the moon, only about the moon. For the dice, we're beginning with sex, party, and forget it. Spirit says email, buy shoes, and still sex. Congratulations to anybody who gets the benefit from that. This week, in terms of the cards, I've pulled out my Angel Tarot, and we're going to begin with an overall energy of Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer, which is the Fool in the traditional tarot. In this deck, this card has always felt like Mercury. I cannot explain what it means for something to feel like Mercury, but it's always felt like Mercury. I've always described it that way for, all the years that I've been on this channel, saying this feels like Mercury. And so therefore it represents the signs that Mercury rules for me. It represents the planet Mercury, and also Gemini and Virgo. Mercury is still retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. And so again, that transit that we experience tomorrow is between Mercury and the Sun, but it will be trine Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio. A leap of faith, follow your dreams, at least unexpected opportunities. This is all about a brand new path that we are walking. We have not walked this path before, and it looks like it's going to be a lucrative one because the Queen of Earth is also upright right behind it. Thoughtful, creative, warm, and sensible, potentially a Taurus, where the moon is going to be tomorrow, Capricorn or Virgo, or someone like into those traits or attributes may actually be involved. A regular person, real person in your life may be particularly significant of that energy because it's a court card, and court cards tend to represent actual people. Make time for those around you. Take a sensible approach and deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. So this kind of goes along with something that I wanted to mention too, that I was feeling separate and apart from the cards. And that is what I told the sign of Taurus in the reading that I did for them, the astrological biweekly reading that I did for them last. I think I entitled the reading, as a matter of fact, Let the Universe and Karma Handle Them. And for Taurians to sit back, these challenges that they were experiencing, let God, get it, or the universe get it. And that's what this is saying too. Like, allow challenges to be handled in a kind and understanding manner. So you just be like, oh, okay. And the universe is going to take care of these people. And I feel karma coming for them so strong this week. And again, maybe most specifically certain signs, like for you Taurians, first and foremost, sun, moon, rising. But maybe some of the rest of us are going to get the benefit of the moon, the full moon being in your sign as well. And karma is going to handle and exact some of our challenges and difficulties, because I feel it so strong. As I explained during the that same reading, perhaps one of the reasons why I'm feeling it so strong is because I myself am a Taurus midhaven sign. And so that means that my career path and level of success or not, and all of that is connected to the energy of Taurus, which for me is a positive because all the earth signs are like, completely as signs. Of course, individuals may vary, but as the sign goes, as it relates to work and the matters of the earthly, very committed and methodical and practical and grounded, so I like that for my career, zone and stuff like that. So right behind it, also upright, is the Seven of Air. Plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. This for me is represents the energy of joy stealing, the Seven of Swords, basically. And we can steal our own joy by lacking esteem in ourselves, lacking confidence, and therefore allowing opportunities to pass us by because we don't jump at them. So that's how we steal our own joy. Or other people could be trying to steal our joy or cause it to be stolen through some sort of energy. It can also be, in a very tangible way of somebody physically stealing something from you, some sort of belonging or something. Or you losing it. I feel, again, that the tide turns this week and we will be recovering things that had previously been stolen, lost, taken from us, whether tangible or intangible. And I think that that's why the Seven of Air shows up this time, especially in connection with the Queen of Earth and the Dreamer. So challenges, things that you've been going through, months, maybe even years, you've been dealing with the same bullshit. You feel like you take a step forward and then it's like two steps back because there is something that is pulling you. I feel karma is about to, again, exact this thing. The scales will be balanced as part of not only this week, but some other things that I'm going to be discussing that I keep promising to talk to you about that will actually happen within the next couple of days. Also up right behind this, the Two of Fire. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. This theft of joy could have impacted a partnership. It doesn't have to be a romantic partnership, but it damn well could be. But it could be parent, child, two friends, whatever. Certainly a romantic partnership. The Two of Fire or Two of Wands represents divine unions, sacred unions, or twin flame unions in the tarot. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. So I think something that was taken from a partnership, maybe their relationship was ruined by other forces, other people about to get karma exacted upon them. Queen of Fire, confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. So that means don't you steal your joy. Don't you lack confidence. Don't you lack esteem. Assert your independence and creativity. Queen of Fire may actually be a fire sign in your life, whether male or female. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. She is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Also upright. I had no idea all of these were like this. Major Arcana card 17, the Star, Archangel Jophiel. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. We're starting with another star too in this deck. I'll get to this one in a second. Major Arcana card, the Star, represents the planet Uranus and the sign of Aquarius. The planet Uranus is currently located in Taurus, where the moon's going to be. So that may be why this is coming up. And lastly, upright, speaking of Taurus again, the Knight of Earth, loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. And we're starting with another Knight of Earth too in this deck, and I'll get to that one in a second. It's time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. So you're not alone as you try to, move forward with your life down this potentially brand new path with the Fool. The Knight of Earth, like the Queen, is a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be representative, again, of the planets themselves, of maybe a Venus. The next card is the Empress, but it's upside down. And, of course, the Empress represents the planet Venus. Lavish abundance. Give birth to your dreams. Nurture yourself and others. So Venus, the ruler of Taurus. And could represent her, or perhaps Mercury, the ruler of, again, Virgo. I don't know of any Capricorn transits this week, so that's probably it. From the Animal Tarot, again, we're beginning with the Prince of Autumn, which is another Knight of Autumn or Knight of Pentacles. Trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. From my Fortune Teller cards, which I wanted to pull out just for some advice at least, and supporting cards too. Whatever spread I do, because I'm not even sure what I'm going to do yet. Again, it's a star. Hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. I couldn't agree more. So again, this is for me. This is going to go for people who have been experienced the difficult times, sort of like a Wheel of Fortune kind of energy, and it's turning around. If you've been on the end of you've been experiencing everything wonderful, and perhaps you've been the person who's been taking from others, and like your karma is going to be exacted too. And so the tide will turn for you the same way, and yours will go in the other direction. You may be experiencing difficulty all of a sudden. So it all depends upon one's own karma. Those of you who are out there watching, again, the star represents the planet Uranus and the sign of Aquarius, which is also about communication, right? So there could be some conversations, it's online dating, not only communication, but communication usually that involves some sort of technology when you're talking about the sign of Aquarius or the planet Uranus. So email, like the dice suggested, texting, again, online dating, that sort of thing, Skype and FaceTime and whatnot. Also, prayers answered, wishes granted, dreams coming true. Why? Again, because our karma is paying off. And for some, speaking of partnership, here comes something, proposal. A romantic or business opportunity is indicated. This is a partnership that I'm feeling definitely is between two people. It's not party of three. It's not any kind of bullshit. So some sort of situation being rectified and commitment deepening or starting between two people. Again, whether you are friends, business partners, or lovers, whatever the case is. Also up right behind that, you're getting this support from, again, air energy. For me, this is the way I read it and feel it. And, eagles soar through the air. You see this one flying over mountains and stuff like that. So this is definitely air energy for me. Again, perhaps Mercury or Venus. Eagle, you will soar towards your destiny with greater clarity and strength. So, of course, the air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra, probably in that order this week, although Libra is ruled by Venus as well. Lastly, from my abundance oracle, because again, this is Taurus and earth energy, Pentacles, I wanted to see what was going on in the area of abundance, which is ruled by Venus, and our card is savings. As you consistently save for your future is saved. You do your future self a big favor as you consistently set aside present funds. This is part of your self-care and path to feeling secure as you focus upon your life purpose. I think I'm going to start with I didn't even talk about this one yet. I think I'm going to start with the Rider-Waite Tarot. Oh, interesting. Okay. We got the Four of Cups in reverse. So for some, this is like a decision we finally come to. We've been unimpressed with what was presented to us in the past, sort of melancholy and disinterested, maybe in life itself. We could have just been plain old depressed when the Four of Cups comes up. For me, that's how I read it. And when it's in reverse like this, it's like we're finally ready to get up and go get them. So in some cases, like I said, where this karma is being exacted. In some cases, we may have to take some sort of action step, and we may initiate some of this karma being exacted. So it's like, I'm taking back my power. I'm taking back what's mine. And this indicates that you're ready to do that. This is a card of victory. So this is triumph over what's been stopping you. Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot, represents the sign of Cancer. Cancer is one of the signs I talked about recently in that other video. So Chariot, all about movement, travel, again, victory, modes of transportation, planes, trains, automobiles. Not really feeling any of those, but something could be going on for some, perhaps with the DMV, with the Hierophant also behind the Chariot. Hierophant can be about large corporations, government agencies for me, contracts, that sort of thing. So it could be representative of any, large place like that. Higher institutions, college, all of these things, and represents the sign of Taurus. Again, where that moon is. So that is positive too. And I think we can get into it now. I do want to mention the Hierophant, like this proposal card, can be about a deepening of commitment also, or the beginning of a new commitment. Whether, again, it's friendship, romantic, or business. Also, the Hierophant for me, in terms of taking action for yourself and making changes, can be about the need to change your environment. That is, the people, places, and things with which you surround yourself, because they do not resonate with your vibration. And we need to make some adjustments and surround ourselves with people, places, and things that match our vibration or have a higher vibration than our own, from which we can learn something, right? Hierophant can be all about learning something. So people see it and they just think about marriage, which of course, again, that's a possibility. We got this proposal card sitting here, and it could be literal, proposals, wedding proposals, engagements coming up. But for others, it's about making some changes. And again, it's connected to this Four of Cups. So in the past, we had been maybe unwilling to get up and go get them, as they say, on our own, get off our butts and go do something, be the change you're looking for. And now this shows a readiness to do that. So yeah, I think I'm going to start with those. Just going to take these away for a second. Queen of Swords in reverse. Nine of Cups upright. This is sort of like the star again. This is like our third time seeing the star. Again, prayers being answered, wishes being granted, dreams coming true. A big resounding yes from the major arcana, particularly as it relates to love. So maybe yes to a proposal, again, of marriage or something, or of commitment. We'll see what it lands over, because this is my position for love and romance. So let's see. Wheel of Fortune. This is what I was talking about. This is that karma. I knew it. Represents the planet Jupiter for me. And the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules, but is also connected to the fixed signs, one of which is Taurus. Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo. Sits here. And the Knight of Swords in reverse. We have the Queen and the Knight crossing one another, both of them representative, again, of the planet Mercury, the planet Venus, the signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And a reminder, our overall energy is the Four of Cups in reverse. Queen of Swords in reverse. Let me see if I can get that to flatten out. Yeah. Can often be about these blocks that I've been talking about. Blocks, challenges, usually brought on by someone else, not by you. Now, of course, again, it's a court card. It can be representative of an actual person, maybe a direct air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius herself. And that person may also, according to the tarot, be dark-haired and or dark-eyed. And she's the kind of person that you want to remain on her good side, because she'll flip on you. And she might not be very nice, honestly, and that's what people seem to feel about air signs anyway, that we're like cold and despondent and stuff like that. She might not even realize it, that she comes off that way, because it's not malicious. We're being joined by some sirens. It's not malicious. This is just how it is. Okay. Raphael and more earth energy, right? More green. As it relates to work, she could be saying that there might be some situations going on at work. I think for a lot of us, the situations have already happened. I know for Taurus, I definitely talked to you about them, and that they started happening at least, a week or two ago. And your reading, the biweekly readings, go through the 17th. So, of course, it goes all through this week, for which this reading is. I think that, again, this week is about exacting, and the Wheel of Fortune upright in your position of work and finance says that to me. So I think somebody that may have been a block before or already, or that exists as a block, something's going to blow up in their face this week. Something's going to blow up in their face, or if it, it's going to come back on them. So if they've been trying to take credit for your work, for example, which the Knight of Swords in reverse could say, and it sits here right next to our position of work and finance. I've been talking about people taking credit for other people's work and stealing ideas. And also in the Taurus reading, I told a little story about how it's being done to me right now. And I said, maybe because I'm a Taurus midhaven, there's a tarot reader on YouTube with a far larger channel than mine, but she feels the need to do everything that I do and to take everything that I do. Although my work is copywritten and my name is trademarked and all of this, my channel, all this kind of stuff, just playing games with me. Despite that, though, taking credit for my work, and I've just been letting karma handle her too. So it's like those kind of people, backlash, but not from your hand. So you will be clean. You can, your conscience can be clear, and your hands will be clean when this goes down. As it relates to love, this Queen of Swords, and again, it's funny that she's also crossing a Knight of Swords in reverse. She can be about presumption, being presumptuous and assuming things and having a different memory of the way things actually went down. And so you got to be open to listening to your partner or ex-partner, if you're wanting to resolve a situation with them, or, some sort of conflict, or maybe previous breakup or something. You're just feeling some type of way, but you're otherwise okay. The relationship is otherwise okay and you're still together, but you feel some type of way or whatever. You might not be remembering things the way that they actually happened, and maybe seeing like a one-sided, one-dimensional perspective, which isn't really very air sign like, particularly Gemini. We tend to see like all sides of a situation, but that may be what's going on. And so it's going to be important to be open to hearing what the other person has to say. I have this saying, like, when people, because I can't stand when people do that. Like when people don't remember stuff the way it happened. And I'm like, dude, I was there. Don't try to change the story. That's the energy that I'm picking up on right now for this week with this, as it relates to love, this Queen of Swords. In your spiritual life, a woman, a strong woman, or feminine energy, right? That sort of feminine, somebody that's drawing on feminine energy if it's not a woman. And I said woman because it's the Queen of Swords, but of course, again, these things are not gender or sexuality specific, but it would be a feminine energy, at least if it is a man, may be particularly helpful and inspiring to you in your spiritual life right now. And she may be kind of blunt and like stick some things in your face. So like, don't be hurt. Like in that situation, it's not you, it's her. It's her manner. But even though it's her, again, it's not a negative against her either, because it's her manner. It's not her being malicious. It's not her trying to hurt your feelings. It's just the kind of person she is. Like I said, people think that air signs, like we can be, cold and curt and, too blunt and all that kind of stuff. And that may be how she may come across. You can absolutely learn something from her, even if she is hurtful, that's the best way I can say it. And again, she might not mean it. You can tell if somebody's being a bitch, like on purpose, or if they just said something away, I think. Well, at least I can tell. Hopefully you guys can tell too. There's some discernment in that area. In terms of health, if you're not feeling well and you need to get something, checked out, get it checked out. If you're on medication, you're going to have to be particularly mindful this week about taking it, because we could easily forget. Be honest with your doctor or whatever the healthcare provider is. If you, do need to seek help, you got to tell them the full story. Be very clear, be very honest. In terms of your finances, I told a couple of groups this recently. I think it was Gemini, my own sign. It was. to, like, if you work as a cashier, for example, to watch your register, it might come up short of something kind of funky going on there. Everybody check your receipts, your bank statements. Somebody, or a store, a vendor, a creditor, or something could make a mistake, and in your favor, like, well, it'll be in your favor if you catch it. It won't be in your favor if you don't catch it. So pay attention, because it could be really significant and save you a lot of money. I'm talking about, like, your landlord didn't credit your rent payment, and so now, according to their books, you owe 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, and really you should owe zero if they check their work and you point out the check number that you paid on and it cleared already through their bank, so it's their error, not yours, like that sort of thing. All right, I spent a lot of time on the Queen because this is the position in my little spread here that most directly represents us, right? And so this is surrounding, it may be our energy as well, or that of, a friend, a love interest or partner, co-worker, boss, something like that. And again, that's the Nine of Cups. So Nine of Cups, as it relates to, speaking of co-worker and boss, finances, work, all of those areas, it is a good omen, as they say. If you're looking for a job, this is a very good time where, it's likely to come through for you, especially with it crossing the Wheel of Fortune upright, particularly if you've been on the right side of karma. You got the job already, pretty much. Even if you haven't gone yet to the interview, if it's later this week, I'm telling you, you got the job already. In terms of love, same thing. It's, really positive. If you're in a relationship, it should become deeper and more intense and sweeter. If you're single, it's a great time to get out there, meet people. If you're interested in finding love, really great time for those new commitments to be started. In general, again, it's a card of happiness and positivity, and it's a big resounding yes in the tarot in terms of yes or no questions. This is one that's a yes, especially as it relates to love, at least as far as I'm concerned. And speaking of yeses and positive energy and positive affirmations, because yes is a positive affirmation, in spirituality, it's a really great time for you to, use more positive affirmations as it relates to yourself and those around you. Also, visualizations, positive visualizations, like see yourself doing well, and you will is the belief. But this is a really good time to manifest. And it's not a mistake that, of course, the 11/11 falls into this week, because this is, again, a huge period of manifestation right now. So, Nine of Cups. Positive as it relates to this. Again, if there's been somebody who has been causing you obstacles and difficulties, their time has come, if you know what I mean. In relation to work, if you're out of work or your job hasn't been going well, or if it has been going well, it's going to get better, just things getting better, finances, everything, improvement, if you've been on the right side of karma, but particularly with the Nine of Cups crossing this Wheel of Fortune. And that brings us most directly to the Wheel of Fortune, actually. So again, like I already said, actually, as it relates to finances specifically, because this is the placement it's in, work and finance. If you've been having difficulty in the area of finance, that's about to change. And that's the more common. More of us will have had, different challenges. And again, I'm feeling certain specific experiences that have been difficult. Doesn't mean we've been broke for a year or whatever, but we have something that's been like a thorn in our side, somebody's foot on our neck. And that is what is about to turn around. If, again, you've been on the other side of it, then your time when you may need to dip into your rainy day fund may be coming. So that's the contrary perspective. But most of us, this is great news, again, especially crossing the Nine of Cups upright. This is what we've been wanting. So some of you, as it relates to work, may be leaving the job, and it's because it's time for you to do what's really going to make you happy, what really drives you. You have some sort of unique talent or gift or passion, and it needs to be shared with the world. This is time for you to, be bold and courageous enough to make arrangements to network with and rub, how they say, elbows. I was about to say rub noses. Wait, that's not right. Rub, those are Eskimo kisses, rubbing noses. Rub elbows with people who can help to further you. So this could be connected again to the energy of the Hierophant, and you need to change the people, places, and things with which you surround yourself, because that is going to further you. And lastly, we come to love. And again, with the 9 of Cups sitting right here above our placement of love and romance, it is positive. Yeah, I was going to say for the most part, it's a positive omen, period. It's just positive. So if you're looking for love, somebody also in consideration, particularly of the 4 of Cups, somebody could be very hard pressed to impress you. Yeah, and to impress you. And like what you feel, maybe because you're being really air signy, what you feel is trying too hard. And so they're like a jerk. But just because somebody comes across that way when you first meet, I know first impressions are important. But don't necessarily consider them down and out. It doesn't mean that they're a loser necessarily. It just means they try too hard because they really, really want to impress you. So just keep that in mind. If you're already in a relationship, again, something may be may need to be discussed with this Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords, both in reverse, crossing one another, and just be open to doing that and to, again, being really effective communication, saying what you mean, meaning what you say, but also being a good listener and trying to be there for one another, so really trying to sense what's going on with your partner if you're able to, and ask and then, be willing to listen to them and talk to them, and certainly not talk at them. Just be careful about making sure it's effective communication. And if you don't feel you're going to be capable of that because you're going through whatever you may be going through this week, or maybe Mercury retrograde has you twisted or whatever, then don't say anything at all, because otherwise you could, cause unnecessary arguments between yourself and, your love interest or your partner. And then, you just don't want to do that. Also, because of what I just said about watching your statements and your bank, the Knight of Swords in reverse can also be about a need to not be paranoid. I never want to suggest that anybody be paranoid, because basically I'd be saying, hey, enlist fear in your life. And I never want to suggest that. But cautious, I guess is the word. Cautious, prudent. Conversations could be, people could be listening to your conversations. They could be overheard. So television conversations, telephone conversations, you want to be cautious about. Your email may not be secure and people may be reading stuff. Your password may leak out. Somebody may try to hack you. So just be careful about information sharing in general. And I guess, again, even in terms of verbal conversations, be cautious about the way that you're sharing information during those too. And make sure, again, that it's effective communication and not something negative. Also, because I just was reminded about the Chariot when I picked up, our overall energy, the Knight of Swords having nothing to do with the placement, nothing necessarily to do with the placement of love, may have to do with travel. Maybe some of you are getting ready to travel because of Thanksgiving, or maybe some of you are traveling this week because of Veterans Day. Even you're off. You have a long weekend. Maybe you've served. If you did, thank you for your service. If you're currently serving, thank you for your service. I have a tremendous respect for military and veterans. My father is a veteran. My ex-husband, my children's father, is a veteran. So, I have a genuine care for you guys and respect for you guys. But somebody may be traveling when the Knight of Swords shows up, in particular consideration of the Chariot. And it may take longer than it should, or that you would want it to take, or that you had planned for it to take. And that may be because of Mercury retrograde again. But that's another meaning potentially of the Knight of Swords in reverse. Something else I wanted to say about the Knight of Swords. Oh, thinking about the Seven of Swords and the energy of joy stealing, or perhaps actual theft. Knight of Swords, also in a general sense, can be about, again, I need to be cautious, not paranoid, but you may, especially with people that are new that you're not really sure about, you may have met, be surrounded by somebody that you can't trust. And they may actually be a thief. They don't have to be a literal thief, but that's possible. Again, with this card, and also in consideration of the other one. Or they may have, again, the thief sort of energy of joy stealing energy around them, and you don't want it around you. I'm thinking I should probably stop there because just use the rest of the cards for advice, because I have the love reading and the moon reading to do. And I also want to do, again, a special video for you going over the shifts, beginning with the days in October that already passed, that I mentioned when they came up, but explaining what it's really about, what I saw in my vision, what's to come. I want to do it by tomorrow. I want the video up by tomorrow, 11/11. So I think I'm going to stop this one here. And so here is our animal tarot again, just showing you again, the Knight of Pentacles was the overall energy. There's an advice card from each, for each archetype, masculine and feminine. From the fortune reading cards, again, the overall was the Star. Angel Tarot, overall was the Dreamer, the Fool. And the Abundance Oracle, overall was Savings. Okay, masculine from the Abundance Oracle. Release resentments about money. Yes, the money system of the world can seem upsetting, but holding resentments about finances just pushes your abundance away. Instead, see money as a tool that you can use to better the world. And this shift will help you attract support and golden opportunities. I agree. And to me, this sounds very much like what I told Taurians specifically, but I now feel is for all of us, maybe because of the Taurus moon. Let karma handle them. Let the universe handle them. Like, you don't have to be upset about it. Anybody that has wronged you, particularly in the area of money, work, finance, they're going to get theirs too. Feminine. Cooperation instead of competition. Same thing. Same thing. It's that energy. What's yours is yours, and no one can take it from you. So there's no need to compete. Let them spend their energy competing, trying to steal from you, whatever. These people are about to be real sorry. And it might not come. This is the thing about karma. It might not come in the form of work. They might not get off that easy, or finances. Like, maybe they try to be slick with your finances and now they're going to jail. Or, I don't wish any harm, physical harm on anybody, but sometimes that's the way it comes. Something happens to them or to a family member because of how they've treated people. So, yeah, you just focus on what's meant for you. It will be yours or is yours, and that's it. Yours is yours. No one can take it from you. There's no need to compete, and there's an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, there go those partnerships too, you can accomplish anything. So then, positive and cooperative partnerships coming our way this week, maybe particularly for the feminine. Masculine, 8 of Earth. Skilled work is rewarded. This is about reaping what you've sown. So like I said, this week, things coming back to you, or things coming to you based on your karma. Your karma pays off this week. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic and going back to school even is a possibility. And that also connects with the Hierophant. Hierophant can definitely be about higher learning, higher institutions. So that would be a vocation, college, some form of going back to school. or learning something new. It doesn't have to be a physical school. You could be learning from somebody at the job, for example, maybe training for a new position, being an apprentice to somebody. All of that applies. Or it could be learning, a new experience in the school of life. People say experience is the best teacher. For the feminine, 10 of fire, some difficulty, some situation in your life where you were holding, bearing the brunt of it, holding the bag most often, is coming to an end. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance. And I mentioned in the beginning, before I even laid the cards, I feel that Jupiter is about to balance the scales. Universe is about to balance the scales. Something's out of balance. It has to be reset. That's this week. Stress-related health concerns also could be popping up for some. Like I said, I forget to whom I said it, but definitely it was with the Queen of Swords. Yeah, with the Queen of Swords, in reverse, you have to make sure you take your medicine and all those sort of things, and go to the doctor if you needed to go to the doctor, and be honest about what's bothering you when you get there. Doctor, holistic practitioner, whatever it is you believe. From the fortune teller cards to the masculine, judgment. Soul searching will bring inner peace to many areas of your life. So there's no other energy of introspection here. However, that is resonant with earth energy, right? That need to go within, particularly Virgo, but it could definitely be because of Taurus also. And it may be specifically Virgo because, again, Mercury is Virgo's ruler. So Virgo energy very strong here too. However, judgment, at least in the tarot, represents for me the planet Pluto, which will be trine Mercury and the sun's transit. Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio. And that may be what this is about. Directing us to, look at ourselves in depth at a deeper level, not just the superficiality. That's what Scorpio is all about. To the feminine, the devil, but I just end on. You may have met somebody that you can't trust. So I guess that may be particularly for us. Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. Yeah. Devil, of course, represents the sign of Capricorn in the tarot. That doesn't mean the person will be a Capricorn, but that is definitely an increased possibility. Lastly, to the masculine, speaking of Scorpio, it is Major Arcana card 13, release or death. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending, full moons are certainly about endings. We have the full moon tomorrow for some, Tuesday for others. That's probably what this is about. The ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. So a new beginning. And lastly, for the feminine, the Prince of Summer, speaking of Scorpios. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters. So stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. The Prince of Summer or Prince of Cups, Knight of Cups, if he is indeed a direct water sign, is a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Often for me, the Knight of Cups is somebody who is returning to our life, who is coming back. Again, doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It could be, an old friend, or it could be something that will make us smile, that we love, we have emotions about in a positive sense, being returned to us this week, again, by way of karma. I bumped into a friend. I haven't seen her, I don't know, I get possibly high school, younger than me, but we went to the same elementary school, and then we went to the St. Patrick's Old Cathedral School, and then we went to St. Jean Baptiste High School until I didn't remain there my whole time. I actually went to 3 high schools, but anyway, we both went there together, and that may be the last time I saw her. But when we were little, we were also in Girl Scouts together, and we go to she lived in Tribeca and I live in the financial district. So it's just a walk, And we go to sleepovers and stuff, the same sleepovers and parties. And she always had to play with somebody's ear to go to sleep. And nobody wants to be bothered with her. And I'd be like, here, Tashana, you can use my ear. Fine. Um, I went out to celebrate my ace, who was a Scorpio, my friend Simone, her birthday on Friday, the 8th. And we went into this lounge, Madam X, in the village of New York City. And upstairs on the other level, there was my friend. I was just about to say, you look like my friend Tasha. And as I was saying it, she's like, my name's Tashana. You know, so it can be something like that. Like, swept me off my feet, not in a romantic sense, but like really bowled me over. Like, oh my, this is crazy to bump into you like this. And for us to be having a drink now. I haven't seen you in 20 years, you know, or more than that. So that kind of thing. I wish all of you guys positivity. Definitely pay attention to the details this week. Karma pays off big. I'll be back with love. And again, like I said, the moon reading and a special reading. Thanks again for joining, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. If you care about helping me, like I care about helping you, share the video. Make sure it gets around to others. I'll be back soon. Namaste.